I'm not comfortable. In fact, I've tried really hard to be attracted to men who treat me well.
It's boring.
It's not only boring, but it makes me feel uncomfortable.
So, okay.
Well, I recommend two things: therapy and Jesus. Because what are you even talking about right now?
One more time.
I'm not comfortable. In fact, I've tried really hard to be attracted to men who treat me well.
It's boring.
It's not only boring, but it makes me feel uncomfortable.
So, okay.
Well, I recommend two things: therapy and Jesus. Because what are you even talking about right now?
I don't even think therapy can help. I'm going to be honest. You know why I don't think therapy can help? Because women are always in therapy. To the extent that if you meet a woman, these days, one of the dating questions women ask men is, do you go to therapy? To them, they believe a good man is one who goes to therapy. And if you don't go to therapy, they believe there's something wrong with you. They believe every person should go to therapy, whether you have a reason or not. Because at the end of the day, I believe they use therapy. And in fact, some female therapists have talked about this. They use therapy to not hold each other accountable and they also use therapy because they need someone to listen to what they have to say and cry and make them feel good, even if there are no solutions. So I mean, this guy, I don't think therapy is going to help. So, sir, thank you for suggesting therapy, but they already do therapy. I can guarantee you that woman has been to probably 1,000 therapy sessions, but she still believes nice guys. She's not attracted to guys who treat her well. Now, she's a good-looking woman, and she's still a little bit younger. And I don't know, for how long she's gonna have that kind of mindset. If you look here, I think if I play it again, it's kind of dark, but you can tell she's a good-looking woman, right? So she's still younger, right? So I don't know how long she's gonna have the mindset of, I'm not attracted to good guys. Maybe after having a couple kids with the bad boys, and then when she's 45, then maybe she may want a guy who treats her well. This happens all the time. After they have the bad boys and they claim the tide of their whole phase, or they don't call it the whole phase anymore. They call it, they call it the fun phase. They call it doing me. I'm just doing me right now. That's what they call it. I'm just doing me right now. Are you dating? Nope. I'm just doing me right now. That's what they call it. Right. So maybe in 10, 15 years, she will be in 10, 15 years, she's going to want Greg to take care of the kids that she had from the bad boys. In 10, 15 years, she's going to want a nice guy like Greg O to come to come take care of the kids. And she's going to be so much a Christian lady, so much a God-fearing woman. You guys have noticed that these days, it's women 35 and older, for some reason, they all find God at that age. They say, oh, I'm looking for a man who believes in God. But when she was 25, nope, she didn't care for God. It's two things. It's a set of women who say, I'm spiritual, right? Zodiac signs and all those things. If not, they're going to be looking for a man who believes in God. And then Amore is asking, you guys have seen my videos. And Amore is asking, they all want a man of God. Oh, I'm looking for a man who believes in God, who goes to church, who prays. You go to a date with a girl, and then she's going to be asking you, do you believe in God? Do you read the Bible? Do you pray? Do you go to church? And then I'm thinking, if you are really a woman of God, if you really, God is the priority in your life, why don't they ever choose men in church? I'm telling you, I've been asking myself this question. So they go to church every Sunday. Some of them even do worship and praise. Some of them do Bible studies. Apparently, we know 99% chance it doesn't happen. They say it just for attention. So if they believe in God so much, how come the men in church, they never choose those guys? Let me guess. Those guys are too nerdy. In fact, they give them those church hags. Those, they call them what do they call them? They call them my brother in Christ. They give them those side hags. They never choose the guys in church. They leave the church to come to the streets to find a man of God. And it's like, you go to church every Sunday. Surely there should be a good guy in church. Surely there should be a single guy. Surely. Now, I know these days churches are full of women, 90% women, 90% single moms. And the few men who go to church are usually dragged there by their own women, either married guys, husbands who are dragged there by their wives, or relationships. They find a guy in the streets and they try to turn him into a church going guy. So those are some of the guys who are in church. Right. But I'm like, if you really believe in God, you should really choose someone in church, because that's someone who's going to encourage you if you backslide. They encourage you, baby, let's go back to church. Let's go pray about our issues. Right. And then even when they have their own issues in relationships, they don't run to the pastor. They run to their single friends to help them solve the issues in their relationships. And here's another thing. Majority of their friends are never type of friends who go to church. They're the type of friends who like to hang out and go to brunch and go to Chris Brown concerts. So ladies, I'm asking, like, why don't you guys ever find men in church? I know there could be like 4 or 5 guys in church, but surely he's 5'6", okay, but he's a man of God. I mean, God is a priority, right? Are you saying you don't want the guy in church because he's not 6'5", because he doesn't make 6 figures? So how important is God to you? Ladies, I'm just asking. I mean, all right, what does chatting in say? What's up, Greg, man? Salute. Thanks for being in the chat. Chatting man says the men in church are gay, or the preachers who are smashing everyone. Yeah, they be smashing the preachers on the law, because the preachers be having the money, man. With all the collections they get, the preachers be having the money. You could find some of the single moms who go to church, the kids belong to the preacher. So for you guys who go to church, you want to do some DNA tests for your women. If your woman is always in the church and she can't stop talking about the pastor, my pastor this, because they like, sometimes they take the pastor's word more than they take the dad's word, more than they take the father's word. Like if they had an issue, they will run to their pastor faster than they run to their father, faster than they run to their brother. Every time they have issues, rather than even finding a solution, they're always talking about, I'm going to go to the pastor and the pastor will pray for me. And then when they have issues in the relationship, they want you to go see the pastor because the pastor will have their side. You're like, no, baby, I don't want to go to the church. He doesn't know me. No, he's a good pastor. He's going to pray for us. Yeah, that's because he has been clapping your cheeks. That's why you want us to go talk to him. Right? So if you guys have your women, if you have kids and your women are always in church and your women can't stop talking about your pastors, I'm telling you, man, you better do some DNA tests. Right? If you have a round head like me, right, but your kid has a box head, and that could be the pastor's head. I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you, you need to go do a DNA test if your woman is always in church and she can't stop talking about the pastor, right? And then you're gonna send your woman cash app. You're gonna send your woman some money, and guess the first thing she's gonna do on Sunday? She's gonna give all the money to the pastor. They call it tithe. Right? So if you have a woman who's constantly asking you for money at the end of every single month, trust me, that's the 10% she's trying to give to a pastor. And if she does those overnights, and they have sometimes they have those overnights where they go to church all night praying and things like that. I'm telling, because they're still human at the end of the day. Yeah, they're in church, but if the pastor is the one with all the money, and for some reason the pastors are like the tall kind of guys, and they have like that confidence because I guess they're public speakers, so it comes with time. So you better watch out, I'm telling you. All right, Greg says that's why dudes are avoiding church. The single moms are finding the church and the pastors are trying to set up dudes with red flags. Yeah, That's true. And they even actually, the pastors attack you. The pastors are going to attack the guys in church, trying to convince you to marry the single moms. And if you don't, they're going to be talking all kinds of shit. And that's why some guys don't want to go to church anymore, because the churches are full of male feminist pastors. Like everything they talk about, they never hold the ladies accountable, which I understand. It's a business. If they held all the single moms accountable, if they told all the women to get average guys and stop looking for guys who make six figures, if they told all the women who go to church to find guys who are 5'7" and not who are 6'5", the women wouldn't come back to church, and which means the pastors wouldn't make money. So I definitely understand why pastors don't hold women accountable. It's a business. It's a good business. It's almost like Derek. You guys know Derek Jackson? I believe Derek Jackson could make a church and women would go. Even if he was caught cheating on his wife, he was caught clapping chicks with multiple women. It doesn't matter. If Derek Jackson made a church, that could be a good business idea. Maybe one day if I ever meet him, I'll pitch him the idea. But if he really wanted to make money, he could make a church. He would be rich. Right?